Carl here, and this is the working hour. We took a couple weeks off to kind of get things reset and kind of set up for the new year. Had to finish up my 100 questions that you may get in a interview. And to be honest with you, it was really exciting, really good. Doing these videos don't come natural to me. It's not something that in the past. It's actually something I shied away from in the past. But now I actually enjoy doing them and I enjoy going through all this stuff. But we did about 96 different questions that you might be asked during the course of an interview. And the truth of the matter is, you look at those questions, you're not going to go and you're not going to study 96 questions. That's just not reasonable. But typically, the ones that I highlighted and said, hey, this one you're most probably going to be asked, um, there's usually about 5 to 10 that during the course of an interview, you're going to be asked. You're going to be asked, tell me about yourself, tell me, your strengths, your weaknesses. You're going to get asked, tell me, you probably get asked a time when you failed. You may get some off the cuff questions like, if, you know, if a meteorite hit the earth, you know, who would be the people you would save if you had 100 people you could save to rebuild the earth? Again, those are kind of logic questions. You may get questions like that, but the likelihood is probably not. But what I did do is at the end, I kind of used that time to talk about questions that you should ask during the course of your interview. And a lot of people don't understand this, that quite honestly, you should be asking questions too during the interview process. Why? Because it shows that you're engaged in the process, that you're interested in the position and interested in the job. But the other thing is this: a lot of times, what we look at and what ends up happening is this: we get really excited about the opportunity of a job interview. If you're out of work, this might be the one that gets a steady check in again. If you're looking to get another job and leave a situation that is not ideal, um, this may be your exit strategy. And a lot of times we get very excited about the fact that, oh, I've got this interview, but we forget the one fact that we should be interviewing them as well. We should be asking questions about the job. We should be asking questions about the company. We should be asking questions about, what makes a person successful in the company, or what makes a person successful in the job. And the reason for that is you want to hear what they're answering. Now, a lot of times, again, with any interview, you have to understand that you're trying to put your best foot forward and they're trying to put their best foot forward as well. They want you to work for them, right? They if you look at the amount of money, time, and effort it takes a company to hire somebody, it becomes a really expensive proposition for them. And it's an expensive proposition because not only do they have to post the job and they have to have a recruiter and they have to have all these people and all this stuff happening in the background to get you started. But the other part of it is this: there's an opportunity cost that if you're not in the seat, they're not getting that extra production, they're not getting that extra work getting done, and it's costing them money. And a lot of people don't look at it that way. But when you go and you interview, it's important for you to make sure that this is the right fit for you as well. And the reason why is this: I call it the frying pan and fire kind of thing. Why go from the frying pan into the fire, um, and go into a worse situation than you were before? But if you ask insightful questions and you ask the kinds of questions about the company and about the job and about all those things, you start to get some insights about kind of why the job's open, what they're looking to accomplish and what they're going to achieve, and also whether or not you are the right fit for it. And a lot of times what ends up happening is this: we forget that, hey, we're supposed to be interviewing them, and we're just excited for an offer. And then what ends up happening is you get into the job, and it's not what you expected. Now, if you make a change really quickly right after, that's good. But, even today, it's not necessarily, depending upon the industry and the company, if you're moving jobs quite frequently, it may not be viewed well. Some companies and some industries, they don't care, and that's fine. But one of the things, for your own sanity and for your own sake, if you ask the questions and you get the information, you may opt out and say, "Hey, this is not for me." I know I've done this in the past as well, where I've gone and I've interviewed for a position, and, you know, I'll give you a good example. From a money standpoint, I was told the compensation was in a range that I would be okay with. And then as I got through the interview process and I kindly find out that, well, somebody was saying that they would try to get the money, and that was a red flag for me. And for me, that was saying, "Hey, hold on a second. Is this really a job that is viable?" And as I start to get through the process, I realized that they're gonna make me an offer, or they're looking to make me an offer that is far less than I'm willing to accept. I'm just gonna opt myself out. Now, earlier in my career, I may have approached that differently. Earlier in my career, I might have gone and said, "Okay, I'll do it, and I'll just work my way up the ladder again." Or it would be a situation where I would see other red flags, but because I needed to make rent, I just took the job. And that's okay. I've been in that situation before where, I got laid off, I had rent to make, I needed another job. And I went into a situation where it just was not a good situation. Now, oddly enough, the example I'm giving you, I did ask the questions. I did ask the questions about their stability. I did ask about the questions about, where they're looking for me to make an impact, where they see me go. I asked all those questions. And the one thing you have to realize is this: sometimes you may get lied to. And if you find that out very quickly in your tenure as you walk in the door, my advice to you is this: if you find out that they've lied to you about something and they've not been exactly clear and forthcoming with this, depending upon what it is, you may want to start to look for your next gig again. So, everyone, this has been the working hour. I've been out for a little bit. We're going to get back to a regular schedule again, and I will see you next week.